Speaking of the federal government, we've discussed, in fact, this program, there was a word called sequester, and not many people in 2012 were talking about sequester, understood what it meant. Well, now, 2 years later, sequester is a big, big deal. How, if the sequester laws went away, which means the federal government basically cuts off funding and they can't do anything about it, how much easier would that make your job? I mean, how big of an impact is it having the sequestration of federal money on the state of Hawaii budget?
You know, in terms of the entire budget, the federal dollars that we get is there are about 40 million of the $5 billion in the state budget is subject to sequester. So that's the direct spending of federal money in state programs. I think the bigger effect on the Hawaii economy is really the sequester impact on the Department of Defense funding. So it really is about the cuts that will be required to be made in the federal government, especially that would impact Pearl Harbor and all of the military bases.
But that's coming.
That's coming.
So,
and so
what are you going to do?
Well, I think it's about being proactive. I think we know as the Department of Defense pivots to Asia, as they always talk about it, Hawaii is in the middle of that pivot. And we need to ensure that we're doing everything to work with the federal government. You know, we need to be conscious that all of these facilities are in our community, so we need to work with our communities to understand what infrastructure needs to be in place. We need to work to resolve any environmental issues as we work the pivot. But you know, Hawaii is a strategic asset for the federal government, and we need to, you know, be committed to promoting it as such, and working, being committed to work with the federal government to ensure the value that Hawaii has.